Chairman, thank you. We now know that our inability to detect and prevent the September the 11th attacks was an intelligence failure of unprecedented magnitude. Some people who couldn't seem to utter the words intelligence failure are now convinced of it. Many of us also knew that an accounting would have to be made on behalf of the innocent victims, the families left behind, and the American people. After all, there were 9 separate investigations into the attack on Pearl Harbor and the intelligence failures attendant there. We agreed, however, that some time would have to pass before we began on the committees such an effort because we were at war and it was our top priority to ensure its success. Approximately 6 months after that fateful September day, our 2 committees joined together in what I hope would be a thorough and comprehensive examination of the United States intelligence community's failures to detect and to prevent the attacks of September the 11th. Now, approximately 6 months later, we're making progress, but we are far from done, and I'm concerned. The staff has reviewed many thousands of documents, but they have many thousands yet to review. They have interviewed many people, but there are many people yet to interview. In fact, it's still very difficult even to determine how far we've come and almost impossible to tell how far we've yet to go. I've been part of many investigations in my career, but none has been as important as this one. Almost 3,000 Americans have been murdered, and perhaps thousands more innocent lives will hang in the balance every day. This investigation, I believe, must be thorough, comprehensive, and complete. I want it to be a success. But to be a success, an inquiry needs time and resources. If you limit either one, your chances of success diminish significantly. Unfortunately, I believe we have a short supply of both in this inquiry, and I'm afraid that we're beginning to reap the results. From the outset, I argued strongly that we should avoid setting arbitrary deadlines. Deadlines are an invitation to stonewalling and foot dragging, and we've seen some of both in this effort. I've also said many times that agencies under the congressional microscope are generally not motivated to cooperate. That's just common sense. That's human nature. To be thorough, I believe we must be able to identify and to locate relevant information, retrieve it, analyze it in the context of all of the other information we've gathered. This is inevitably difficult and time-consuming. Because we have only 1 to 3 staffers actually focusing on any particular agency at any one time, and because so much of our joint inquiry staff resources are tied up in producing hearings, such as this one, which I deem important, it is becoming exceedingly difficult to be as thorough and probing, I believe, as we need to be. I'm afraid we've asked the joint staff to move a mountain and perhaps only given them a couple of shovels and a little over 6 months to get it done. I hope it's enough, but I'm concerned. This is a massive undertaking, and I compliment our chairman, Senator Bob Graham, and Congressman Porter Goss for their leadership, because anyone who's willingly, voluntarily, to lead and to coordinate an effort such as this deserves our admiration and our support, and perhaps our condolences. But I'm concerned that the management challenges that you faced and continue to face have created some fundamental flaws in our process. Many members of our joint committee have found it exceedingly difficult to get information about the inquiry. They're frustrated by what a lot of them perceive to be efforts to limit their ability to participate in this inquiry fully. They want to support and ultimately to endorse this effort that we've undertaken. But they will be unable to do so, I believe, unless they have a clear and unfettered view of the activities of the joint staff. At this point, I don't believe they do. Today, Eleanor Hill, our staff director, will present a summary of a statement intended to reflect the current state of our inquiry. Members, however, have had essentially no involvement with the process that led to its drafting, and therefore have little idea as a whole whether what it says is accurate or a fair and thorough representation of what has been discovered. Mr. Chairman, I'm not saying that it is not accurate or thorough. Hopefully, it is both. I'm saying that our members, as they voiced to me, have no practical way of knowing. These are concerns that we've discussed before in the four of us meeting, and they will need to be resolved if we're to have any chance of reaching a consensus at the conclusion of this inquiry. I think it's important that the American people know where we stand as we began to discuss publicly why their multi-billion-dollar intelligence community was unable to detect and prevent the worst single attack on American soil in our history. At this point, again, I'm very concerned that we may not have the time or resources to complete the job we set out to do. I will continue to support this effort and support our chairman, but there may come a day very soon when it will become apparent that ours must be only a prelude to further inquiries.